Hello, this is Critable and welcome to my 5.2 enhancement guide. In this guide I will be going over some basic class buffs, which talents and glyphs to use, which stats you should prioritize and how to optimize them, along with the general ability priority list. Let's get started. First we have your buffs. As an Enhancement Shaman, you'll imbue your weapons with Wind Fury on your main hand and Flame Tongue on your offhand. You'll also keep your lightning shield up at all times. To maximize damage, make sure you use an agility flask, a food buff and 2 agility potions, one being just before you're pulling and one during the encounter. Now we have your talents and glyphs. And thanks to Blizzard's overhaul of the talent system in Mists of Pandaria, most of the talents are personal preference. However, there are still certain talent combinations that are calculated to be the most effective. For 5.2, these talents are Ancestral Swiftness, which grants 5% spell haste, 10% melee haste, and an active that lets you cast a spell instantly. And the other talent is Primal Elementalist, which makes your Fire Elemental and Earth Elemental extra powerful. Glyphs, like the talents, also depend on which boss fights you are currently at. For example, using the Shamanistic Rage glyph on Heroic General will let you dispel ionization by yourself, which helps out your healers. Now for your stat priority and gear optimization. In most cases, your stat priority will be like this. First, you want to get hit and expertise caps. Those are 7.5% each. Then you want to get agility, next haste, then mastery, and lastly crit. However, as you gain more and more heroic gear, haste will start to outscale agility, which basically means instead of using agility gems, you'll start using haste gems. There is no easy way to tell you when to change the gems, but if you're serious about getting the most out of your character, you'll want to start using Simcraft to check which gems will give you the most DPS. There are many guides for using Simcraft out there, and I suggest you get familiar with the software if you're getting into heroic level raiding. For gemming, you will in most cases use the following. In the red sockets you want 160 agility. In the yellow sockets you want 80 agility and 160 haste. In the blue sockets you want 80 agility and 160 hit. If you want to test if haste is better for you than agility, then use the following gems in the simulation. In red sockets you use 80 agility, 160 haste. In yellow sockets you use 320 haste, and in blue sockets you use 160 haste and 160 hit. I use the website chardev.org to create a custom profile which Simcraft lets you import. This way you can compare the two to each other. If you have the legendary meta gem, you want to use that one, as it ends up being about 7% of your overall damage, which is huge. Otherwise, use the meta gem with 216 agility and 3% critical effect increase. In reforging, you want to follow the same priority as I mentioned earlier. To get the best reforge possible, I recommend using an add-on called Reforge Lite. What this add-on does is let you set up a priority for reforging, and it will calculate and reforge all of your gear with the press of a few buttons. If you set it up right, your expertise and hit caps will be as little above the cap as your gear allows, and you will get the most haste / mastery out of it. Enchanting speaks for itself. You'll use the best enchants available for each slot. I will have listed them on the screen for you. Lastly, we have the Enhancement Shaman ability priority. The list has been simplified and does not include major cooldowns, so usage of Fire Elemental Totem, Earth Elemental Totem, Stormlash Totem, Ascendance, and Heroism or Bloodlust will need to be used as fit during the various encounters. This means you'll have to judge for yourself when to get the most out of your cooldowns. First of all, you want to always have Searing Totem or Fire Elemental Totem down, so that you get the stacks which are used by your Lava Lash. Second, you want to use Lightning Bolt with 5 charges of Maelstrom Weapon, 4 or more with a 2 set bonus. Third, you want to use Feral Spirits if you have the 4 set bonus. Then fourth, you want to use Storm Strike or Stone Blast, which is the Storm Strike when you have Ascendance up. Next, you want to use Flame Shock if you have the Unleashed Flame buff and the Flame Shock is not on your target. Next is Lava Lash, then Lightning Bolt if you have 3 or more charges of Maelstrom weapon. Then you do Unleash Elements, and if there's nothing more you do Ancestral Swiftness and then a Lightning Bolt instantly, and after that Earth Shock, and lastly Feral Spirits. Thanks for watching my Enhancement Shaman 5.2 guide. If you have any further questions about add-ons or other Enhancement Shaman related things, then leave a comment below and I'll try to answer your question. Otherwise, just like, favorite, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll see you in a later video.